Hello, and welcome to another Sunday morning stream. At least it's morning here in Europe. Welcome. How are you doing? How is life? Hope your Sunday is going well. Let me know if you encounter any sound problems or video problems. Do let me know in the chat. Otherwise, let me introduce you to my plan for tonight. So, it's good to practice some stuff from time to time. For example, materials are kind of the backbone of a lot of drawings and whatever artists do. So I thought, why not come up with challenge that would, tackle some of the trickiest materials and at the same time just give kind of like a mindset or give one object to draw, but at the same time cover as many materials as we can. So that's kind of my thought for this stream. You can join this challenge. It's open-ended challenge. There is no deadline. It's more of a, if you do it, you made it. You win the challenge if you create a material goblet. And let me maybe first just list some of the materials that I have in mind. So the classically tricky materials, they're kind of, as I see it, there are 6 big groups of materials. If you master these 6, you can probably draw anything you want. If you don't master them, you can still probably draw anything you want. But it's good to have them in your toolbox, Why is it a goblet? Nobody knows. That's still up for debate. So, there are many different ways how to categorize materials in terms of their roughness or reflectivity or texture, but I will group them into these 6. So first, let's just trying to think where it would be good to have them in a list. Okay, first let's say glossy materials. By glossy materials, I mean, is it visible or should I write bigger? I think it's big enough. Maybe I will make it darker and the next one I will write bigger. So glossy materials, also known as kind of reflective materials. Those could be, shiny plastics, metals, obviously, of different types and varnishes. second is, I guess, a counterpart to this is kind of like a matte, or I guess I will call it matte here, but it's more like textured, I think. Textured material. And this is usually organic stuff. So like wood or stone or clay or concrete. But you know, with wood and stone you already have such a huge variety of different textures and materials. So also I don't think we need this close-up cam. It doesn't show anything yet. So these are the two. Then you obviously have fabric materials, so stuff like cloth of different kinds, and I guess leather as well. Then we have two materials that let some or all of the light through, or most of the light through, so they would be transparent materials. Like glass or water, or I guess ice. I mean, ice is also water, so that kind of the same thing. And another type of material that's kind of tricky to draw is translucent. And that's like human skin or body. It's also fruits. I mean, not all of the fruits, but a lot of fruits and vegetables. Basically, it's all those materials who let some of the light through and then scatter it underneath the surface. So think of wax, for example. Another common translucent material that doesn't seem translucent is marble, because I think that's, I guess, the perceived beauty of marble, that it lets a little bit of light in and scatters it underneath the surface. But let's leave it out to avoid confusion. But with translucent and transparent in between there are like gems, for example. They're, depending on what kind of gem it is, it can be transparent, can be translucent. And then finally we have hair and fur. Well, those, I guess, are kind of self-explanatory. So the point of the challenge is to pick one of each. Pick a glossy material, pick a matte material, textured, pick a fabric, pick something transparent, something translucent, and then, as a plot twist, I guess, you can add hair and fur, or fur. And the point is to combine all of those materials into one object. And I thought maybe a goblet could be a fun object for that. So, you know, as concept artists are often also into fantasy and D&D and games and all that stuff, I feel like items from fantasy world are pretty popular among concept artists, like swords. And I thought Goblet is also pretty close, but then you can actually add a lot of different materials into it. But first, before we actually get to the material part, for fabric there is also knitted fabric. Well, yeah, we can also add like wool here and knitted fabric. That's a good addition. Hello, Victor. Welcome to the stream. So, Material Goblet. Let's come up with a design for it first. And as usual, we do like maybe 2 hours of sketching, and then we play. Well, I say we, but it's mostly me. I will play an improvisation on Roland MC101 thingy, and then we will call it a stream. So I'm thinking maybe that like there is a glass part of the goblet, and then it can have like a big handle of sorts. And the handle can be of a different type of material. This is just like a quick silhouette sketch, right? So you don't need to be precious about it. It's going to be tricky to add fur to a goblet, but you know, maybe the handle can be kind of wrapped in fur. So we would have like a transparent glass here. This leg of the goblet could be more of a, let's say, could be metal, like a glossy material. And then this handle, maybe we can make it wood. So this could be number 2. And then we need like a translucent hair and fabric. And then for the fabric, I thought we could just use a wrapping on the handle. So that would be number 3. And then we need translucent and hair. With hair, I thought we can, you know, just add fur to the handle as well. And with translucent object, we can put like a, it would be weird to put a finger put a finger inside the goblet, but maybe we can put like a piece of fruit, or maybe there is like a candle sticking out. That's a bit weird. Let's put maybe like a slice of orange, actually. Slice of orange is quite translucent. these kind of things. So that would be number 5, and that would be number 6. So this could be one type of goblet. Nerf says a marble finger holding the goblet. That's a good solution, although it does require us drawing a finger, which I would rather avoid, because hands are notoriously tricky. But we can come up with a different design. Maybe the top part, like the container of the water or liquid, is actually made of metal. It's like a metal cylinder. And then it has some sort of, you know, in South America they drink mate from these, I don't know, is it a gourd or is it like a hollowed out pumpkin? But that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we take this, what is it called? Mate? Kabasa? Kolbasa? That's a completely different thing. I know you don't like drawing hands and fingers, it's a challenge. Well, depends on, it is, you're right, it is a challenge. It just a question is, what kind of challenge are we trying to, what are we trying to challenge ourselves for? And in this case it's more about materials, I guess, rather than hands and fingers. We will leave it for another challenge. What did you say? Well, yeah, let's not revisit the past. So, I don't remember what this thing is called. It sounds similar to kalbasa, but it's something else. So, this is glossy texture. This, let's say, is metal. This could be wood or textured something. Then we'll have like a little, maybe this will be like a sphere, or are you Russian? I am Russian. I do speak a bit of Dutch, but I do live in the Netherlands for the past 7 years now? Quite a bit. Your name suggests that you produce music. Is it okay if I ask what kind of music do you do? For those of you who don't know, what am I talking about? I'm streaming both on Twitch and YouTube, and I haven't figured out how to display YouTube chat in stream yet. So there is a chat happening on YouTube as well. Did you say the Russian word for sausage? It is kolbasa. It is a Russian word for sausage. I think it also is Polish. They also have kalbasa. Or is it kielbasa? Victor said, sub to your channel because of the MC101. I'm into Dollars music. Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad you joined. This MC101 thing really, I feel like, opened up my... You have a Padruga, that's how you know. Oh, that's great. It's always fun to learn words from other languages. And if you have a colleague or a Padruga or a partner from a different country, it's always fun to learn some of the more kind of rare words. You know, usually when you're talking with someone from elsewhere, often, at least like in student times, people would often ask about swear words and how to say like rude things in the language. But I think it's more interesting and fun to learn these kind of like obscure words. You always ask for the bad words first. Well, yeah, that's the first thing to learn. It's just how people are made. But after this initial lesson in swear words, there is like a whole bunch of very rare and kind of obscure words that then confuse people when you use them in a conversation with a native speaker. You bought the TR8s 2 years ago, and that also changed something. Yeah, I think I don't remember if it's been a year since I bought it, but first, actually, maybe I can show it since we're here. My first gateway into Dollars setup was this little guy. You probably have seen it everywhere. It's, for those who don't know, it's a pocket operator from Teenage Engineering. And like this is actually an additional cover. Normally it just looks like this, which doesn't look like much. But this one is the pocket operator KO, so it's basically a drum and melodic sampler. And this thing got me stuck on the couch for like 3 months. It was really fun to play around with it, and it was 2024, I think. Is it 26 now? Yeah, it's 26. So 2 years ago now. And then I kind of released, I recorded a bunch of improvised sessions on this pocket operator, and then released it as kind of like a mini album. And last year I thought this is a great, starting point, but I feel like I want to have more knobs to spin around, and maybe also faders. So I spent a few months just looking for like a bigger brother of this pocket operator. Well, it's hard to keep track of the years. They all seem to be speeding up. There is a bigger brother of the pocket operator that's called, what is it, KO2 now? KO2. I think it's the KO2. So that one. And I think I almost bought that one. Now I'm kind of thinking maybe it would be as good of a solution as the Roland MC101, but I don't have any complaints on my purchase, because the Roland thing, especially, I bought it kind of right before their new update, and then they released a new update when they redid. Do you mean the music style? I don't really have anything against rhythm. I can't say that I could name an artist who is rhythm specific, but is that what you produce on the TR8s? Or did you also get more gear over the years? I feel like that's the danger of this. Of this hobby. You start with the pocket operator for like a few bucks, and then you get the next one and the next one. Teenage engineering rhythm. It's also like a calculator as well. Let me take a look. I haven't heard of rhythm. It does look very similar to... Ah, yes, I see. So it's this kind of a new version. For me, this purchase of the Roland was kind of a search for a very minimalistic setup that I could travel with somewhere and could take with me, and at the same time that I could use like samples, but also would like to be able to use synthesizers. And I think that's kind of was the difference between the Teenage Engineering KO and the Roland thing. It's a few months old. Yeah, after I got my Roland, I kind of... everything else fell off the radar. Especially after they released this new patch that kind of enabled you to have all of their synthesizer options or parameters on the MC101. Before it had like a limited synthesizer settings, but now it has 4 separate tracks with each with its own bunch of parameters. You have TR8's System 1, SP404 MK2, TB3 and SE02. Make all kinds of music like techno and also beats. I use no computer at all. That's a really cool setup. Do you feel like it's kind of increasing your creativity because it has limitations, or do you feel like there is still things that you're missing in this setup? Well, Rolands. Yeah, Rolands have been a staple of electronic music. I like teenage engineering style. Like, I think the way they have fun with their devices is very appealing. And it's also a European company, I think, so that's local. But in terms of like sound design and quality, I don't know if they have reached the classics yet. Victor says basically everything now, but for new sounds I would like to have another device like a fork. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. It probably is a bit off-putting if you see the videos of MC101 and on the stream you suddenly see pencil sketches. But I'm glad you didn't get freaked out by that. I like with the Pocket Operator, the only thing that it has on Roland is that it has a microphone built in, so you can just come up to a dog and record if the dog wants to say something. Which the Roland doesn't have, so it's a bit of a pity. Can get inspired by all sorts of arts, follow many people with many arts. Me too. I'm trying to, like, with this studio I just started last year, and I'm trying not to fall into the, you know, social media trap of trying to put yourself into a category. Like, are you a Prince artist or are you Prince artist? Call it Prince artist. Prince artist, or they like make posters, or is it children book illustrations, or are you a musician and then you shouldn't post any sketches on your Instagram because that kind of defeats the brand or something. And there's been a struggle to not let the kind of boxes to box yourself in. The rhythm has a separate mic. Separate mic? Even let me check the rhythm thing. It sounds very interesting. I make the algorithm crazy indeed, but it probably is not happy with me. Is it like a detachable microphone on the rhythm? This looks... the whole device, the rhythm device, looks so wonky. I think I like their medieval design quite a bit. I know it's more of a gimmick than an actual thing. Reading thing. Let's see. Oh, I see. Oh boy, this is amazing. Let me share this screen for a second. Just so other people can also see this. Okay. This is what we're talking about with Victor. This is the group box from Teenage Engineering. This is the thing. That's what I mean, like they have such a unique fun way of playing with the design of their things. Really reminds you of grand design houses of past century, like Brown or Olivetti or something like that. So my thinking with this goblet, I kind of like the bottom part of this, but the top part of this. So maybe I can combine those two. It's too expensive, but you have seen people make good stuff with it. It is all just tools ultimately, right? If you follow some other musicians like I don't know, Puku Music, I don't know if you know him, is also on YouTube, and you can see people produce music with very, very lo-fi equipment, without DAWs, without computers, and sometimes the music, because of that, is more interesting than kind of a mainstream polished DAW based track. I would argue that going into the future that would even be more prevalent, because now you have all these AI mastering tools that remove all personal choice in the mastering process. That's, I think, my biggest pet peeve with AI, besides other pet peeves I have with it. It's that it trains people to give away their freedom of choice or freedom of coming up with their own ideas. It kind of turns everything into a multiple choice question, right? Like you write a prompt, you say what you want, and then the agent gives you what it thinks is the best solution for that. Obviously, you have your own brain later to decide if it's a good mix or if it's a good design solution, whatever you're working on. But ultimately, somebody else already have decided that these are the 3 best options for you. And I think there is something lost in that. So I'm kind of betting more on lo-fi-ification of everything and making stuff more human, less polished, less granular, more weird, I guess, as well. So I got myself into a bit of a pickle here. There is a lot of space on the right and not much space elsewhere. So I'm thinking maybe the handle will go kind of like this. I don't know if it's a good idea for a handle. The only thing about Dolly's setup that I'm still struggling a little bit with is exporting stuff, to some online music service where you could share it with people, like Bandcamp or SoundCloud. The way I handled it with my first improvisation album, Hidden Gems 1. That was the official title. I just recorded stuff on the phone, very lo-fi. I just plugged my pocket operator into speakers, put the phone next to the speakers, and that was it. You had the same, but you found a solution. Most people buy an audio interface. You mean like a portable recorder, like a Tascam or something like that? That was also on my to-buy list, potentially. To completely eliminate the need of a device. You record directly on your phone, use a special cable so the sound is directly recorded. That's a good option, actually. Do you, more like Focusrite, do you have a brand that you like from with the cables? Is it the, I've seen some IK Media is called, or something like that, that has this iPhone to microphone cable connectors. I don't know if it's the same one you mean. So I think this will be the transparent material. I do have an iPhone, yeah. That's what I also use. USB 3 camera adapter. Oh, I see. So it's just like a docking station in a way. This will be translucent. B. That's not with the microphone trick. This one is easy. From Apple. I will look into that. You need to plug it into an audio interface. I have a Focusrite, the usual most popular one. What is it? Scarlett 2i2. But it's plugged into the computer, so I think having something more portable would be nice. So we have translucent, we have transparent, we will have fabric here. This will be fabric. And then we have matte, glossy, and hair. Hair we can add here as well. This will be hair. And then either the bottom part will be metallic or this container. I think the MC101 has a built-in audio interface. Well, you can definitely plug in. You can plug in MIDI into the MC101, but the rest is output. Like it has a two, like left and right out, and the phone, like headphones out jack. But what I found out that you can, if you have this, like a, what do you call it, a dongle. Trying to find it around, but don't see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. So if you have something like this one is from Anchor with USB-C and this stuff. This is USB-C connecting dongle. If you connect it to the iPad, you can then connect your Roland to the iPad, and then you can drop samples from your iPad directly onto the Roland, and then you can also record from the Roland onto the iPad into like a GarageBand or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Also, let's take a 1 minute break to stretch and take a sip of water. We will continue in a moment. And we're back. In this Material Goblet, I kind of made it easy for myself by drawing it from the side instead of making it, three-dimensional. But if you don't make it easy for yourself, who will? I also think I should lighten this up. I mean, to be probably completely fair, having an iPad with GarageBand or some other DAW isn't really a DAW-less setup. I do realize the irony. But for me, dollousness is more about not being stuck with mouse and keyboard and the not having DAW dictate your workflow, but rather approach things more naturally, how you would approach other instruments. You just pick a guitar and start playing music, and then you decide which part of it is a loop or not, and which part is the beginning and whatnot. So I think this is what I'm trying to get to with the dollousness. Still dollars. I agree with you. It's all about either playing with the mouse or machines. Yeah, that's what I also think. It's similar. I had the same thought about writing, actually. These days, whatever you're writing and with whomever you're writing, and kind of whatever your thoughts are, whatever the letters are you're writing, it's all the same movement. Like you're just, like, especially on the phone, it's just this thumbs movement. Like, it doesn't matter if it's an A or a Z or a P, it's still just this movement. Whereas with the hand, when you're writing it out, like, every letter has a unique shape to it that forces your hand to move in a different way, which in turn forces your brain to, launch different connections between neurons. I don't do after remastering and stuff. I press record, then stop and upload it. I like that. Very easy to understand workflow. Doesn't have unnecessary fluff and preserves the artistic vision. I think this top part will be wooden and this bottom part will be glossy. I like to make tracks which I live perform and record. Also must have that feel with the music, and myself playing with knobs and faders is nice. Can't agree with you more, brother. It's very different. Like, I don't even understand really how people can't see the difference between doing one movement for everything, moving the mouse, whether you want to play something louder or quieter, and if you want to add expression to your track, you still just move the mouse. And then if you want to record something else or change, it's still exactly the same, moving the mouse and pressing some shortcuts. Whereas if any of those things you're trying to do on an actual device that has faders and knobs and buttons, you're constrained by a very different set of limitations that are more, I guess, embodied, that would be the word. Like more physically related to your body. Like you actually turn the knob and it's a different movement. So I think to me, preserving that part of creative process is probably a priority for this year. Yes, bratan. That's a good one. Bratan. The Dollars Bratva strikes again. Not sure how to connect this sphere here, or if I even want to have a sphere. Glad that you found the TR8s. That's great. But what are you doing and why? Is this a practice? You mean the drawings? Or do you mean the Roland MC101 thing? This, the drawings that I'm doing is indeed practice. In general, I just like drawing and has been doing it for a while and would like to continue doing it for a while. And I haven't been really drawing with a physical, I've been drawing a lot of Procreate illustrations, so digital iPad drawings. That's why I'm not considering iPad as the DAW as much, because it's kind of sketchbook. So I thought, why not practice some materials today? In general, I'm leaning towards landscapes and like environment art, more, I guess, concept art than illustrations. Don't like working too much on the details. It's more the initial concept thinking is more fun for me. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess, just the practice for materials. Am I educated in illustrating? I wouldn't say so. I studied, how would you even call it? I did study design, but I guess it's, yeah, I don't know, it's like all design, digital design probably. So we did have some like constructive drawing classes and painting classes, but it was, I feel like, more just because you need to learn that as a designer if you want to then draw something in 3D, or if you want to design a cover for wherever. So we did have that, but it never was really illustration or concept art, and I frankly didn't like most of our actual drawing education that we had. Partially, I think, is because I didn't vibe with all the teachers. Partially, I think it's because I didn't have contact lenses. It seems like a stupid reason, but hear me out. I didn't have great vision since childhood. And when I was maybe 13, I got prescription glasses, which as a kid I didn't want to wear because I was embarrassed. So I just had them at home, never wore them. And at some point my cousin got herself contact lenses, and she was really happy with them. So eventually I also got them, but I was already 20, I think maybe 1 or 22. So my most of the education, both in school and the university, I spent without glasses or contact lenses and with not great vision. It was like minus 2 maybe. So I think partially it taught me to pay attention by ear a lot. So maybe my love for podcasts is the result of that. I also always had good notebooks from classes because I would just write down most of the things I hear because I couldn't really read from the board. And I didn't want to sit closer because obviously you don't want to sit close to the teacher. In Soviet Union, your teacher wants to sit with you. Anyway, so yeah. Not being able to clearly see the still life, for example, was like you could see how my teachers were frustrated because they were like, dude, look, you're painting a bottle in the middle of a still life, and there is a red apple next to this green bottle. Why don't you put some red reflection onto the bottle? And I was always like, what do you mean red reflection? I don't see any reflection. So that was that's sad. It is sad if you think about it, but back in the day I didn't think about it that way. Well, lenses weren't really an option for quite some time. And then, you also, I think as a kid, you can adjust to your circumstances pretty fast. So if you can see from the board really well, you either miss everything or figure out how to get the information. When we get older, we think about our past. That is wise words. You can also say when we get older, we get the past. So, makes sense. So, despite that, and all these fun things in university. I feel like when I got out of university, I took a bit of a break from drawing and art, but not really. Like I always liked drawing and coming up with stuff, so there was no really reason to not do it. So I started practicing again, and this year is a year to try put it out there. So I want to make some prints and t-shirts. For now, a general direction of my thought is to make it mostly about slowing down and enjoying the process rather than anything else. But let's see where this year takes us. So this handle, I wanted to make it glossy and sort of metal, right? So maybe this is like a flat metal. Is around, so we would have kind of darker areas. First, usually it's a good idea to think where the light is coming from. Hi to all people who are watching, come and say hello, says Victor. Couldn't agree more. Actually, this reminds me, I haven't invited everyone to join our Discord server, or usually, and is a good idea, subscribe to YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're watching this, just so next time you can join as well. The tricky part with the streams for me, that is I realized in the past few days. So for those who don't know, I have a plan. I have a plan for the year for the studio. Not really a plan, but like a mind frame. So right now are the 2 months of exploration and experimentation. You already subbed and just pressed for the notifications? Great. Thank you. Everybody else can also do that. Follow the example of Victor. So yeah, right now is kind of 2 months of experimentation and trying stuff out. And with the streams, I figured that it's a tricky balance between trying to make it sustainable for myself. So, you know, if I would not enjoy the streams and it would feel like work or something like that, probably would be hard to sustain it long term. So trying to find what makes it worthwhile for myself, but also balancing it with what would actually make our community grow. And it's kind of hard to think, or no, it's not hard to think. It's hard to invite people to join the community where the community, like the purpose is maybe unclear. It's kind of the same thing as, you know, I don't put videos on sketching. I only sketch on live streams, and then I cut the audio part or the music part out, and for some reason it gets uploaded as a separate thing. So it's a bit confusing, but I wanted to create like a community of multimedia artists. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're sharing the same mindset of being focused on the process, being more interested in humans rather than algorithms, and kind of this sort of stuff. So if this is something you're also craving, let's crave together on Discord. For me, the interaction is important, and you interact, and that's really nice. Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. I think that's probably the difference between posting stuff on social media and live streaming, and that's what I'm leaning towards more with live streaming, is that first you actually share the process. You know, there is no post-production, there is no filter. Well, there could be filters. Yes, join Discord. Nice. You could add filters to live streams as well, but you know, there is no post-production. It's just how it is. If I fuck something up, it just stays like that, or it's seen by everyone who is present. But not only that, but also the interactions. You could see people reacting to this stuff live, and not only that, but you can respond to that reaction, which is kind of impossible on social media if you're asynchronously chatting in the comments or something like that. It's a bit different, right? I don't know why I'm starting with the bottom, because this is exactly where my hand is gonna smear everything when I go higher, but what can you do? With the Discord, it's not really active at the moment. We do have people joining slowly, and we have some more regular people there. But it's also, at least in my mind, it's kind of like a multimedia thing. So there is, most of the channels are related to visual art of sorts. But even in forum channels there, I try to keep in mind that it's not just about drawings, it's also other artistic endeavors. And I don't really want to limit people from pursuing other kinds of art, even computer algorithmic art. I don't mean AI, I mean more of creative coding kind of things. There was, I think I posted it on Discord a few weeks ago. I recorded kind of similar to how you, Victor, also record. I recorded the output of the realm and uploaded as a mini album to SoundCloud and Bandcamp, and then I posted it on Discord as well. So if you create an album or a track that you're proud of or you want to share, I think you shouldn't let the majority of visual channels stop you from sharing it on Discord. It's good for having the network. You're in several Discord, and it's useful just to know where to find the right people. Yeah, right. I'm also in a few different Discords. I'm not really active in many of them. In some, I'm a little bit active, but ultimately, it's more to be able to go and maybe check in if some other artist is streaming, or just maybe check out some useful links or find a portfolio of your favorite musician or an artist. I will add a little bit of a bevel to this metal thing. Sound and visual can go along fine. Most are not really active, it is. And it also will be more in the future. Yeah, I think I have hopes for Discord because it's a bit different than other social media in the sense that it's more interactive and a little bit less anonymous and kind of detached than social media. But the problem with Discord is that, like, for now, the discoverability is pretty bad there. First, you need to have more than 1,000 people, I think, to be able to get onto this discovery page. So it's more about like direct connections, which I guess in a way provides better quality members that join Discord, because you directly invite people who already are in contact with you, right? People making music with hands and people who are drawing with their hand will be big. People will be sick of AI, especially when the bubble explodes. I think people already are getting sick of AI, at least for me. It's kind of, a lot of it feels like old news, because I've been, I think, kind of trying to keep my eyes on AI since its beginning, and it always seemed to me like I guess a bubble, you can call it. It's tricky because like the technology itself is not gonna go anywhere, right? Like the stable diffusion, the large language model processing, like all that stuff is actually very useful and a new way of handling big amounts of data. So don't have problem with that. But then how people apply it, and like all the get rich fast and scam these people into something, or how to trick everybody to believe that you can draw for whatever reason. And that part has been concerning to me from the beginning of this AI thing, and it never had lost its relevance, so to say. And many people of our ages still don't use Discord. They think it's for young gamers only. Yeah, absolutely. I have few friends who are the same age as me, who are also artists or illustrators, and they say that Discord is like a small community platform for gamers. So that's funny to me. People are also tempted by AI. They want viewers. So many dollars people are using AI for video clips. People want to see the artist, or at least human-made art in any form. In your case, people want to see the hairy hands. Well, hairy hands are also hands. Let's not discriminate against hair. So much money invested in AI, when that will explode, people will be mad. Will be the worldwide effect. I don't like Twitch, to be honest. There is a lot of money invested in AI. That's true. I wonder if this year will be the year of the burst. But it's gonna be an interesting time to live in. The part that concerns me about AI is not really the AI part of it, actually. It's more the human part. what concerns me about AI is how people in majority have reacted to it so far. You know, it's just mesmerizing how many people jumped onto the train just to find a way to scam people into thinking they could write a self-help book and upload it to Amazon now, or 5 of the self-help books and upload them to self-publishing platform. Like, I don't know. It's the sad part is that it's not that AI is doing it, it's people are doing it, right? So like the people devaluing other people is, I think, the sad part. And I can imagine that being the demise of humanity rather than AI taking over or whatever. Just people being stupid is the problem with AI. You're the hairy hand. Well, it's just how we are, you know. If we evolve from hairy creatures, then... Oh, actually, yesterday I saw on TV, I don't remember what kind of monkeys they were, but those monkeys had the coolest haircuts. I think they live somewhere on Sri Lanka, and they had a very cool haircut, that like all of them. It seemed like a deliberate style choice of a whole group of monkeys. People wasting water and electricity to ask stupid questions at ChatGPT. You have a hairy goblet. Well, it's an interesting sentence, but we need to add some fur, you know, to make the challenge complete. It needs to have some sort of a hairy element to it, so excuse my hairy goblet. Monkeys, yeah, I don't remember the name, unfortunately. Maybe Nervin remembers. Maybe I'll try to make it like a brushed metal. So if we add just a few lines here and there, maybe it will look more like a brushed metal. Metal. Methyl is sounds like a new drug name. I think I need a sharper piece of eraser, so just do a little surgery on this guy. Go. There is a cool, well, actually a few Instagram accounts that use these kind of erasers in bulk to make tiny little Linacut prints. And I found it very inspiring, because you can, like, those erasers are very cheap. You can buy them in bulk. And also if you're making a little lina cut with it, it's not gonna take that much time, so because it's so tiny. So you can actually make sort of like a daily challenge out of it if you want. The additional level for this challenge, which obviously I'm not gonna be doing today, but in general, if you're interested, would be to show this goblet in different age variations. So right now we can say it's very clean, unused goblet. Maybe it's the first drink that's been poured into it. But second stage of the goblet would be used, so maybe like after a few years of use, and the final state would be like an ancient version of it, as if it's been archaeologically discovered. So maybe some other time I do that part of it, but for now we'll just do this one. The only downside of mechanical pencil, which is my favorite type of pencil, is that you can't really use its flat side. You can with other pencils. I mean, you can, it's just very fragile. Full pot load? Is that the name for mechanical pencil lead in Dutch? I know pot load, but I don't know the full pot load. But yeah, the visual arts and audio arts can go together really well. You're absolutely right. That actually reminds me. En potlood die kan vullen. Ah, that's surprisingly reasonable. Full potlood. Next time I'm buying the little lead for mechanical pencil, I will try to use my newly discovered words. But with audiovisual stuff, it reminds me, this week I will post, I'm not sure yet where, probably on Discord first, and we'll take it from there. I'm working with my brother on a visualization for his audio mix. I don't know if you have seen on Instagram and also on Discord, I've posted an album cover for like a mix that he produced. And I also thought it would be cool to make like a visualization for it, not just the album cover. For that I used P5.js, like a JavaScript library that also has a sound processing capabilities. So yeah, I completely agree that audio and video can go very well together. Also, if that's something that would be fun for you guys, we can make a stream dedicated to visualizing audio. Probably don't have many people interested in that at the moment, but you can always do it again. Don't have Instagram or Facebook. I only do YouTube and Steam and Discord. That is very sane approach to social media. I don't have Facebook as well. I do have Instagram that I think as a visual artist who might want to have more viewers for live streams to share art with. I feel like it's kind of unavoidable to get on Instagram. It's like a marketplace where it's like a street where everybody's hanging out. I wish there was a good alternative for visual stuff, but for now, I'm also not a big fan of Twitch because it belongs to Amazon, so you know, that kind of sucks. But then YouTube belongs to Google, so it's also a big corporation that just owns everything. But Facebook for sure is out of question. Steam is good. The only thing with Steam is not really, I never really used like social features on Steam. It's more like just for my own games. Oh, I also have Patreon. I should have plugged it earlier. But it's more for later, I guess, when there are more viewers, if there are more viewers, and if people want to support the channel, that would be the way to do it. So this part of this goblet is supposed to be glass, I think. Oh wait, the glass is at the top. This is the wood. So first I think I'll just shade it, and then I just add some texture. I've recently discovered, I guess, speaking of DAW setup and audio-visual mixing, I've recently discovered a few YouTube channels that specialize on, also, I guess you would call it creative coding, but it's more music programming. There are a few web apps that allow you to do that. And that looks actually pretty fun. I'm kind of curious to try it myself, but let me actually finish this here for a second. Let me find some of the names so we can look them up. Okay, so some of the top ones that I have here. Well, one is called Touch Designer. It's an app that you can use that's kind of popular, but what was more interesting to me, an app called Strudel.cc. It looks like this, that just has, like, it's very simple. This is how you write music there. So you say bass drum, hi-hat, like closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, twice from this bank, and then it plays. So, and I've seen people on YouTube just coding it live, and they also connect it to visual processing library of sorts. So, like they code, and at the same time that code translates into music, and at the same time it also translates into visuals. And they're all doing it kind of live on stream, which I find pretty fascinating. Seems like something you could just get stuck on for a whole night. I don't know if any of you guys have tried coding music. Switch Angel is a big, I believe the name is. It could be that, maybe that's the one I saw on YouTube. But yeah, that's also something that I found intriguing. Because it's also very DAWless. You kind of change very, like, it's a very different approach to writing music, right? It's very algorithmic. You think in terms of like commands execution rather than instruments and music. You saw her a couple of times, but don't follow her. Follow another girl, forgot her name. Nothing for me, I'm the dullest man. Well, you could argue that's also dullest. But it is a very different way of making music. And I don't know if it is for me. I doubt it, because I feel like I will still feel like I'm lacking the physicality of it, you know, knobs, as we know, and faders are very fun. Maybe more fun than typing something on the computer. Switch Angel, or Switch Angel coding, then you will find her. Let's check. Switch. Yes, I think that's the person. So it looks like this for those of you who don't know. Let me pause this for a second.
This is music for the end of the earth. It's like powerful.
I hope we
Sweet, you know?
and don't get banned on Twitch for showing someone else's video. So yeah, this is, you know,
Alright, we'll do it. Here we go.
very, very different.
Yeah! There it is.
Alright, enough copyrighted material. So that seemed exciting. So there are a few of those programs that you can use for this sort of music coding. And I've been curious to try it out. Can't imagine, you know, really it being, you know, a good replacement for my other preferred methods of making music. But I think this is really, like, from artistic point of view, it's pretty fun and impressive that it works so well. I also really like about it that a lot of times that's people actually making their own programs that allow them to do that. And that's kind of a next level, you know. Like it's not just, hey, I've been playing guitar since I've been 3 years old, but it's also, okay, I have understanding of computer language that I can use to make my own tools. It's the same level of cool that I have towards craftsmen people, you know, like blacksmiths, for example, who at some point every blacksmith creates his or her own tool, you know, like some kind of special pliers or something that helps them hold their blacksmithing products in place. And I don't know, it's like making your own paint, mixing your own paint. You're not an expert, but you have seen some stuff. Other vids you have seen a lot, especially 2 years ago before I started to buy and do music. You mean the music coding videos? This wind chimes on the background. It's a fun addition, I guess. Just adding some wooden texture. I also like when people make their own instruments. That's another, I guess, secret, undiscovered, untapped passion of mine. That, you know, building your own electronics, making your own synthesizers, that sounds so fun. And I don't mean, I have a theremin box somewhere that I built from like a theremin box kit from Amazon that I bought like 10 years ago, 7 years ago or something like that. That was also fun, but you know, like it's a pre-made kit, like somebody already put it all together. You just need to put it in the box, which is fine. And you know, it was fun to play with it. But it would be even more fun to both like plan ahead your own type of synthesizer. You have seen people do that, like, yeah, exactly, like in a cigar box, like a theremin box in cigar box, theremin box. But I think there is a Dutch company that makes kind of like handmade synthesizers and electronics. It's called... It's called... Could it be Leaf Audio? No, Leaf Audio is German. Oh wait, that's the Synthux. Yeah, these are the guys in Rotterdam. It's called Synthux. Don't know if you have seen them, but that looks very, very fun to build and play around with. They also have like a DIY kit, but I think they also have their like schematics available. I'm not sure. I think it's a... No, it's called Synthux Academy. If you go to that one, beware though, it does look dangerously fun to purchase. The tricky part with this drawing would be to make the orange look translucent in pencil. You have seen the most strange instruments these days. That is true. It became very democratized, as they say, to order some microcontrollers from China for like $2 each and just go wild. Looks a bit like pocket science stuff. Let me see what's a pocket science before I pretend that I know what it is. Ah, yeah. I think it's the same guys. It's in Instro, isn't it? Instro, no, Instro is in Scotland. Well, it does look similar and also very fun. Looks like something you can stick into mushrooms and record their music. I saw a new stylophone for this last week. Was it the NAM? And people know why because because the NAM is now and Akai have sold the MPC XL now. Is it the new MPC? I haven't checked what NAM has owned lately. Was there something mind-blowing for you on that? Is it a conference? Is that how you call it? Show. The MPC is so big. Check the new MPC. Oh wow, there's like a whole. It's not transportable. Like it's a whole studio in itself. Kind of. For me, I think I'm more leaning towards like very minimalistic, take it with you kind of setups. Maybe because I never had enough space for this kind of big devices, but I would like to have an MPC because it has a big screen. But you don't really care for NAM because it's in the US, but it's important because when companies present new stuff, the prices go down. Just like when the TR-1000 came, the TR-8s was cheaper. That's a smart trick. Never thought about it that way. That actually it's a good time to buy something at a cheaper price. But it's a good life hack. I guess here when it gets into the water, we can pretend that it gets bigger like it does in the water and then like connect it very weirdly so it's a bit refracted. Like this maybe. Makes it look a bit more in the water. You always buy after NAM, have learned this recently, unless you find a sale or something. I've been, the past couple of things that I've purchased, I bought on Thomann, you know, the German, is it also US, just has a German art? Doesn't matter. You know, Thomann is a big online music shop. And they often have like B-stock items, which in my opinion aren't as, like, don't have anything worse than the A-stock. It's just B-stock. So I've been looking for those to save some money. Yeah, I wouldn't also care for the exhibition itself, although it is interesting what do companies think is the next big thing, or like what do they think people want right now, musicians. From that point of view, it's curious, I would say. But yeah, I'm not of a tech or gear, what is it called? Gear geek myself. Not enough to care for them. He bought most at Bax Music and one at Thomann and one at Dijkman Music. Bax Music, I also, yeah, that's where I got the Roland, actually. But didn't they close right after I bought my Roland? I don't think it's related. It's related, but I thought Bax Music has closed. Alright, I think we're getting close to the end of the sketch part. Yesterday you heard a good one, Amazon resale, but that's not B-stock, but second-hand. Would never buy an expensive machine used, but maybe a small one, and they always give like 6-month guarantee. I would imagine a bigger machine used is probably more likely to be working than a small one, because usually if it's something expensive, it's also built to last longer, wouldn't you say? They closed indeed for 3 months. They had a family dispute and almost went out of business. Ah, interesting. So they didn't close completely, it was just like an internal scuffle. Is that even a word, scuffle? Most people do take care indeed, because they know the value. Yeah, I would imagine if you, unless you're, ultra rich producer of sorts, I would imagine if you spend like 5,000 euro on a device, you're probably gonna act a little bit differently around it than if you bought like a 20 euro used little sampler. Okay, let's clean the edges up a bit. And then we can call this a goblet challenge complete. Well, there's our goblet. They're open now indeed. Not only buy cables if needed, they have rolled cables. The best cables, the Roland cables. I think it's time to do some live music now. I also want to finally, maybe in February, I finally get to making a sample pack and releasing it. That would be fun. Maybe we should do like a sample exchange channel on Discord. Ah, good idea. Stretching the legs. Yes, let's take 1 minute stretch break while I'm setting up. Yeah, I'm talking about 200 euro devices that you might try cheaper. You can buy myself and less better treated indeed. That would be fun. You mean the sample exchange? Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I mean, there is already like a resource chat which we can use. Let's use this as free card for today. So, weird enough. Maybe we can do like a seasonal sample swooping. Play some winter samples, spring samples. Well, let's see what we have here today. So, for those of you who are new to this, also, unfortunately, I will have to turn off the birds. Not that I have that power. Here is the Roland roof box, so we don't need that much light. The 707 Big Brother. If you have space for it, it probably would be super fun to play. So here on the first track, let's see. Oh, it's not turned on. Wait, let me adjust the sound so it's all good. Here is the basic future bass kit. On the second, we have just the base tone. Let's change it to something more fun. It's a strange one. Maybe some effects. Dark photon. On number 3, we have also another tone. Let's change it to something mostly create rave music. This is great. Kolbas horror. Kolbas horror is that's a new genre. I like it. This is a Kolbas horror music. I will use this new genre as my next for my next album. Kolbas or Bochka Bass. Okay, let's go. Well, look at this. Seems like we safely arrived to the other side of this improvisation. Hope you enjoyed it. It was something. Thank you. It's been really fun to have you around. So I want to thank you for joining this stream and for staying a while. I hope to see you again on the future streams. And with that, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to, subscribe, like, join Discord, all that good stuff. And have a great rest of your Sunday. And a nice rest of your week. Thank you guys. Bye. Thank you.